moment, I look at the world around us today, and it's very easy to get depressed. Things really look bad. You know, we're running out of oil. Governments don't seem to know what they're doing. Would it be nice if we could actually foretell the future so we wouldn't feel so helpless and so hopeless? And I think we can. If you see the man on the left here, he's in a hurricane. If you live on the ground in the hurricane, it's just messy and frightening and horrible. But if we fly over a hurricane, we see all hurricanes have order and shape and a certain amount of ability. What I'm saying is we can predict the future by using this kind of an idea. Now, any human being has a whole series of predictable patterns. If we live long enough, you know, we go through the terrible twos, teenagerism, and all this type of thing. So life, like a hurricane, is always different, but it has the same structure. And what I think is that in nature we know that all natural systems scale. So if one life has a predictable structure, then all humanity might have a predictable structure too. And it's interesting, you see this pattern, which is the same as the hurricane. This is the Fibonacci sequence, and it is how nature organizes complex systems. So if humanity is a complex system interacting with the Earth, what is the key to the changes that we would have? And I'm going to be saying the key is food, energy, and communication. But food is the most important. So we started off as hunter-gatherers like an infant. The Earth was our mother. We fed from it directly. We were completely integrated into her. The mother supplied everything. We were part of nature. This is our childhood. This is what shaped us. And later on, when we developed our first energy, fire, we would sit around it and we learned how to talk to each other. Hunter-gatherers were defined by this tribal hunting structure, and I've got the details here on the slide. So this is who we really are. So why did we leave the Garden of Eden? The map on the left shows you very briefly that we got so successful at being hunters that we spread all over the world and we killed all the big game. It was like the cod. We woke up one day and suddenly there wasn't the big game there. So with that we had to find another food system, agriculture. And so this is our childhood. You leave the breast of your mother, you're in the family, and there's this big guy, Dad. And you've got to compete with all the other kids as well. And there's nothing there to help you. In this system, all the work is done by muscle. So we end up with property, it's all about land now, and property drives patriarchy. So women and nature have to be subdued. So this is the system of early agriculture. And it's very much pyramid building, Moses, and the book. Then we come in the time of the American and French Revolution to the teen years, the early teen years. We start to think, maybe mom and dad, the king, isn't so smart after all. Maybe this God that we all be told was the God, maybe there's another one or another way to it. So I see this period as being a time of teenagers, this rebellion against. And what we really have here is a new food system in America where land had been scarce, but now is free, plentiful. A completely different kind of social structure based on money, not land, and who you are rather than who your father was. And then we have a transition, just as fire was the transition earlier on, fossil fuel was the great transition here. So we go from early childhood, so to a teenager, to late teenagerism. And it's fossil fuel is the big issue here. It enables us to farm in a completely different way and to disconnect us where we are now utterly from nature. Nobody has almost anything to do with getting food anymore at all. We are more divorced from nature than we've ever been, and we've ended up living like this. We are in, I think now, this totally narcissistic period. And oil is the leverage that has created the modern world. So we see population here and oil. And this is going to go away very, very soon. So the food system, which drives our society, just as the hunters who out-hunted the game we are outdoing what the earth can supply us with. So we started off at the end of childhood here, and I think we're round about here now, one of these great turning points, and we're actually in a way circling back to a reconnection with nature, and a new food system will drive it. We are, in fact, of course, becoming parents, where your thought now is not for yourself, but for your child, and where it's not just the child, but the school, the community, the place. The planet is coming back into our line of sight. And we're starting to look at how nature does things. We look at networks, natural systems. We look at different ways to grow food. We look at different ways to collaborate to create energy. And we look at ourselves differently. This little place there is in fact the center of the universe, and every place is the center of the universe. We're all connected. And so we're going home in a different way. We're going home, we're going to marry Mother Earth rather than have her feed us from her breast. This is a relationship where we are in partnership with nature, and we will have to use her rules. So where do we start? And I think it comes back for me, food again. We start at home. A place like this is finding new ways to grow food in a new way, and new ways to relate to each other as a result of that, and finding really our hearts again being truly human and truly connected to everything